Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's John Downs and I'm the Director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology. In the 30 years that the CFZ has been in existence, one of my favourite things is when one of the CFZ expeditionary force come back from an expedition. Recently, as I think you probably all know, Richard Freeman, Georgie Jackson and Carl Marshall went to Indonesia to look for the orang pendek. They have recently come back, and so I am in the incredibly proud position of being able to present some of their findings in a Sumatra special.
Unlike previous expeditions to Sumatra, most of the research and field work was done outside of national parks this time. This is because the national park system and the government have become increasingly corrupt and bureaucratic. They are now charging people astronomical amounts to do research in the parks, especially if they've got cameras. And rangers will be demanding backhanders and then going and telling all their friends that there are Westerners in the park so they can go and demand backhanders. So we did our research in jungles outside of the national parks, which are just as thick and just as mysterious and in fact probably less well explored. And we got some remarkable results from one particular area, which we're keeping under wraps exactly where this area is, and you'll find out why in future episodes. But one of the things we found was a print. When we were trekking through the jungle, we found this print actually not in deep jungle but in the garden area, which is a semi-cultivated area between the cultivated area and the jungle. I found another print. It's not quite as clear as the first one, but it looks like it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers for 4 toes and an offset thumb. But we haven't got the plaster of Paris with us today. And when we saw it, we didn't have any plaster of Paris with us at the time. So what the guides did was cover it with leaves and put sticks around it to stop it being disturbed by rain or animals. We've covered the truck over with leaves in case it rains in the night. We're going to come back and cast it tomorrow, so we're praying that it doesn't rain. And these porters are very cleverly protecting the area so bearded pigs and other animals don't run through it and spoil the track. We came back and we cast it with plaster of Paris the next day, and when it had hardened we had a look at it, and initially we thought it was a footprint, but it seemed to be more like a handprint because it lacked the long heel at the back, and it had what appeared to be a thumb and 4 fat sausage-like fingers. Structure of the hand totally different to the orangutan, which has a tiny thumb and great long fingers for clambering around in trees. This was much more like the print of a small gorilla, and it looked very like one we got from Gunung Tujuh, not the expedition before but the expedition before that, which we have here at the CFZ in a display case. In fact, they're dead ringers for each other, so we think that this was an orang pendek hand where it crouched down on the floor and pressed its hand into some earth. The last time we found one of these, it seemed to have been bracing itself as it pulled over an old rotten log as if to look for grubs and other things underneath it. In this one, it was on the edge of some crops in a semi-cultivated area, and it seemed like it might have been squatting down and peering through the vegetation.
Derry.
Oh, right, yeah, Richard and Derry. Yeah. Well, Derry discovered, but yeah,
I mean, just
okay. Action.
This is the cast that Richard, Derry and Geordie found originally, which Dally and myself went up a while ago to cast. it's clearly a handprint, would you say, Derry?
Well, it is a could be handprint because if my collection footprint quite big from that. That's footprint. Also, I got some hand maybe little from this, but this quite big that I got first.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the first one. First time I see that.
This leading edge doesn't
Leading
apply.
edge, this is quite good.
Yeah.
And then also maybe here's the thumb in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So it's you would say that it's most likely a handprint than over anything else.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's this handprint form.
The boys also managed to get hold of a whole bunch of new witnesses who had eyewitness testimony of the orang pendek, such as this gentleman.
Hello, I would like to introduction about him because this man has declined this in the orang pendek here, but they call the name is Bigau. Also, he would like to talk about the cryptozoology creature here. Bisa diceritakan tentang Bigau.
Ya, kalau nan cerita Bigau, kalau menurut cerita dan diturunkan oleh nenek kami di Jepang, Bigau apa adalah namanya orang yang punya babi, yang punya binatang lah di hutan wakaf. Jadi Bigau kok kata bisa manusia menanganya suaranya. Tapi kalau orang nan bisa nampak mata biasa, mata telanjang, itu orang luar biasa. Ya, kalau orang biasa tidak nampak dia mata telanjang.
Okay.
Ya.
Yeah. He told Bigau. Bigau is like the folklore for this village, and then from ancestor. But the people only can see his voice, but not see the body.
Cirinya.
Ayo, ciri Pak.
Ya, kalau ciri-cirinya si Bigau tu, kalau ada di awak karimbo atau basupo, cacak, tumit ke depan, tepak belakang, punya terbalik kan. Maka itulah jalannya ciri-cirinya si Bigau tu.
Kalau badannya Pak?
Hah?
Badannya?
Kalau badannya model mirip manusia tapi ketek. Ya. Mirip manusia tapi ketek.
What the Bigau looks like is like the human, but small. But you know the footprint when he go to work in the up, the footprint goes back.
Kalau nampak kan saya cuma tu telanjang sekali. Cuma 1 tahun 41. Ayo kami mau bek rimbu orang pandai.
Mau beri apa Pak?
Mau bek berburu babi.
Oh,
Itu nampak mata telanjang tapi selintir cacat ya.
Okay, he seen the Bigau in the 1981 when he go to forest, go to hunt with the pig. So when he saw the Bigau, we go to run fast. Kalau dia cari Bigau, kira waktunya bila Pak bisa masuk? Atau apa aja?
Nyo Bigau ko dia waktu Pak mencari bukan mau bek rimbu namanya lah. Jadi orang pandai itulah yang main Bigau.
Oh, dia pakai semacam magic.
Pakai magis bukan orang pandai. Jadi di waktu itu Inyo meminta mau bek rimbu tu ke Bigau tu.
Jadi Bigau tu bisa semacam penjaga hutan.
Ya, peminago hasil hutan lah.
I asked him about how if we would like to see the Bigau, and then he told to me there is some ritual when we go to forest, so my calling Bigau to come with us, something like that. Okay Pak, ini jenis gambar ko yang mirip dengan Bigau. Okay Rich, maybe you can show to him what the picture looks like, the similar, with the beagle that he climbed the sea.
Picks the one that looks the most like.
Yeah.
Jadi
One more.
kalau wong Jawa jenengannya iki pakai nunduk. Pakai tendang. Iya. Jadi kalau nang Minang tuh kalau lagi gimana ini. Jadi kalau orang Jawa kita aja. Kalau kami enggak minat ya.
Modelnya model kuat, tapi nggak sekadang betul.
Iya. Iya. Enggak, dia pengennya.
Minta banyak.
Because to me, most like this, but not too many hairs in the body. But the footprint is a good bag.
Manfaat dari mana? Manfaat. Boleh. Tengok di gambar bang ya. Di ketinggian berapa gunung dia ada lengkap tuh.
The face like this.
Dan apa?
Yeah, face like this. Face like this.
Tapi enggak.
But it's not.
Oh, berarti sedangkan ini aja dan
The more smaller.
dia di situ ada umur dia ada cara mengira umur dia. Yang bawahnya. Jadi Bapak tengok umur mencari umur dia, dia 1-2 tahun. Iya, sampai ke pucuk itu.
The face like this. But you can show it. Show him.
Kalau 3,5 meter. Bukan, itu enggak. Balik.
This one and this one.
So it's looking more hominin than ape. This is Homo habilis. That's Homo erectus. That is Homo neanderthalensis. And those small ones there are once again Homo erectus. Thank you very much. So it's something that's looking rather like Homo erectus.
So maybe you don't ask to him about how the footprint looks like.
Yeah.
And maybe like human and more like apes.
Yes, good idea. So, what was the shape of the footprint?
Bentuk tapak kaki.
Indonesia.
It's more like human, you know.
Yeah.
Limo jari, 5 finger.
Yeah. And the big toe.
The big toes.
Big toe, is it separate?
Separate.
Yes.
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 So maybe we go to forest to search this beagle with some ritual.
What colour? What colour is that?
Apa warna ya? Warna. Ya ada hitam bulunya apa? Coklat. Same like this.
Grey.
Right.
Tall.
Parang tinggi na pa.
The witness we've just seen there was called Ali Usman, and he saw the orang pendek back in 1981. The local name for it is big owl, not to be confused with chigao, which is the name of a mysterious big cat from a different part of Sumatra. The orang pendek has a number of names across its range, and he saw this creature while he was out hunting wild pigs, and he believes that it was summoned by a tiger shaman. There's a lot of superstition attached to the orang pendek in this part of Sumatra, unlike up in Kerinci, where it's seen very much as a flesh and blood animal. He described it as being roughly a metre tall, looking human, but with grey fur. He said that its footprints indicated that its feet were on backwards. That's a common motif with wild men right throughout Asia, and it almost certainly refers to the splayed hallux or big toe on the foot. And the foot can look somewhat like a handprint because of this. He said he saw the creature, was very frightened and ran away from it. He said that in the village people often hear the call of the orang pendek, but they don't see it, and some of them think that it is an ancestor ghost. So you get folklore attached to it, just as the same as you used to get folklore attached to gorillas.
And that's it for this first one of our extra special dispatches from the Sumatra expedition. There will be more this week, and there will be a really exciting part in the episode of On the Track, which comes out at the end of the week after next. So please watch this space. But one last thing which I forgot to mention was that while they were in Sumatra, they made a great discovery about snacks.
We discovered this Sumatran brand of crisps called Toss, and the entire expedition can honestly say they very much enjoyed the taste of Toss.